Children's Chorale, the Fine Arts Center Musical Theater, Opera Theater of the Rockies, and the Butte Symphony, just to name the biggies. It's no exaggeration to say that these institutions owe much of their success to Kitty's relentless dedication and organizational prowess. Perhaps my favorite example of Mom's life's work stems from her first real conversation with Martial Rowland, Artistic Director of Opera Theater of the Rockies. Until the late 90s, my mom only really knew Martial as my voice teacher and my idol. Mom had heard Martial sing, of course, and had written monthly checks for my lessons. And as Mom would put it, they'd have the, "Hi, how are you, weather's fine" conversation. But out of the blue, in early 1998, Mom got a call from Martial who said, "I need someone to organize my life, and I want you." Mom said, "Me? Why me? I don't know that much about opera." Martial replied, "Doesn't matter. I need an organizer, and everyone knows you're the best there is. Besides, it's only going to be the occasional letter." Boy, was that the lie of the century. But one we're all very grateful for. Mom, of course, took up the challenge and went on to partner with Martial for the better part of a decade, turning the OTR from a budding company to a well-established professional institution. When Martial offered Mom a title, Mom declined. Her attitude was, "I know what I do, and Martial knows and values what I do. I don't need anything beyond that." Working for OTR was truly the only time in her life where Kitty felt appreciated for the contribution of her gifts. In a way, Mom was actually quite humble. I know, not a word that many of us would associate with the ever-gregarious Kitty. But she was nothing if not multifaceted. During her traditional working years, Kitty's brilliance shone just as brightly. She transformed fledgling medical offices into thriving practices, and at Palmer High School, where she spent the final years of her formal career, she was more than just a colleague. She was a beloved mentor and friend. Her involvement in the foreign exchange program and her open-hearted hospitality, frequently taking in students into her own home when needed, demonstrated the depth of her compassion. There was always a place at Kitty's table, and her unwavering support extended far beyond her immediate family. Speaking of those outside the immediate family, there are many who feel that Kitty had what you might call missed callings. Certainly anyone who heard her in her vocal prime knows that that was a voice that could have gone big places. My husband Kurt maintains that if Kitty had had greater educational opportunity, she could have been CEO of a major company. Quote, "She was decisive and could make others pull the trigger too. She was a true leader. She could talk anyone into almost anything," unquote. But I believe many of our family by choice would posit that Kitty's greatest miscalling was that of therapist. One of my best friends recently wrote, quote, "Every friend of mine, David or Nathan, or friends of those friends, who walked into Kitty's kitchen was subject to a full personal history before the real examination began. What seemed to all the world like cookies and a game of cards was actually your turn on the couch, as she asked dozens of questions, probing, never advising, telling a story or two to convey a lesson learned, until she helped you to the answer you were seeking. Should I take French 4? Which college should I choose? Unquote. Is it any wonder that our house was that house, the one that everyone gravitated to on Saturdays, weekends, holidays? And I know Mom's interpersonal capabilities extended throughout her life. Anyone could talk to Kitty about anything without fear of reproach. After considerable thought, she may present you with an alternative perspective or an opinion that differed from yours, but never did that affect her love for you. Upon retirement, Kitty and her cherished husband David embarked on their dream journey of travel, exploring the United States, Canada, and Europe, always finding ways to connect with people. Kitty's ability to make friends and form connections was indeed legendary. She could literally go anywhere on Earth and find someone with a connection to Butte, Montana, or Colorado Springs. Wherever she went, she found common ground, and her warm presence made every place she visited feel like home. Kitty's devotion to her family was her greatest joy. She was loving wife to David, a loyal, steadfast mother to David Jr., Nathan, and myself, as well as a doting grandmother and great-grandmother. Her home was a haven of love and encouragement, filled with the aroma of homemade chocolate chip cookies and the sound of her unwavering support at every school event. Not to mention that laugh. Kitty upheld ideals of academic excellence and community contribution, not just through words, but through her actions and example, and not just for her own children, but for the countless friends who treated her as her own. Kitty also had the unique ability to make people feel needed, valued, essential. When I was 15 and learning to drive, I was not an adept student in this area, sadly. My mom was losing her mind trying to explain and demonstrate to me how to drive stick shift. Remember those? Anyway, she lighted upon a brilliant idea. She called my brother's classmate Beth, who had very much adopted me in a sisterly fashion. God bless her, Beth came and took me to the local high school parking lot for a couple of hours and finally got me sorted out. In this action, my mom's triumph was twofold. Her problem got solved. I'm now a killer good stick shift driver. And also, she made someone else feel vital. When Mom and Dad were retired to Butte after nearly 50 years away, Kitty continued to pour her heart and energies into a variety of community organizations. St. Patrick's Immaculate Conception Parish, the Butte Symphony, the Garden Tour, Splash Butte, the Archives, Catholic Central High School, and the list can go on. Her creation of the Rosary Ladies was a testament to her faith and her commitment to others. For years, Kitty gathered in her living room with friends to pray on Thursday mornings at 11, offering comfort and hope to countless individuals. Their prayers, guided by Mom, were a beacon of light. Her phone rang off the hook every Thursday from folks across the country asking to be put on the list. I'm quite convinced that my mom had a direct line to the Blessed Mother. To have my mom pray for you was a benediction in itself. Her friendship, a profound blessing. Kitty isn't so much survived by her family members, but by the entire community of lives she touched. Each of us carries a piece of Kitty's spirit as a reminder of her incredible generosity, her infectious laugh, and boundless love. Today we gather to celebrate Kitty in the way she wanted, by embracing the joy she brought to our lives, and by continuing her legacy of kindness, warmth, and unwavering support. Kitty was a woman who never met a stranger, who could always be counted on for a hug, a laugh, a shoulder to cry on, and sometimes all three at the same time. She was a true force of nature, a loyal friend, and an exceptional mother. I hope you will join me in remembering Kitty, not with sorrow, but with the joy she spread so generously. She lived her life with love and exuberance, and it is in that spirit